evacuate their homes and put in place their defences. Listen well, Dead Knight, for I give to you the words that will start a war. My final judgment has been passed. Death to all. None shall stand so boldly against the might of the Scourge without reprisal. As you have served me well in your first task, so too shall you serve me in your next. Take my judgment to a High Lord Morgaine at the command post of Arcturus, found on the first floor. Tell him to begin the assault, and when the crusade has been dealt with, we'll finish off the Argent Dawn.
You know what to do.
So, out of curiosity, when do we get these? Doesn't say. I need to wait to level up. Ooh, here's Baron Rivendare here. Sorry, I'm just thinking in the new next round. Sorry, the new. Wait, we don't have the dungeon guide yet? Yeah. We have to finish here first. Makes sense. Oh, reports from the front lines, Undercity. Our sources inside the Undercity report that the Horde is mobilizing to siege and assault Norrend. The Horde's troops, most of whom are returning from deployment in Outland, are now gathering to prepare to strike at Icecrown. Furthermore, covert agents report that the Forsaken's Royal Apothecary Society has ramped up activity lately. While nothing is confirmed at this point, rumors fly that the society has had a breakthrough in their plague research. Again, this is only hearsay, but all forces are advised to give Forsaken alchemists a wide berth. They actually have. It leads to a situation at one of the rat gates where Putris, I can't remember the name of the alchemist, but he turns against Horde and Alliance and bombards them and the Lich King with a new batch of plague, killing plenty. And he very Mattress is on his side. We run into if you're Alliance, then you go deal with if you're Alliance, you go deal with the Alchemist. If you're Horde, you get to fight you get to fight the Dreadlord. I don't know why I'm stuttering, but you get to fight him. But that quest is gone now. That was a Wrath of the Lich King quest. I cannot show it to you. I can merely regale it to you. And I can only regale to you with any degree of accuracy the Alliance side of it. Oh, here's one of the princes. You get to see them more in Icecrown. Well, fight against them. But yeah, there's one of them. They're Blood Elf vampires. Kind of fitting, really. Account of the raising of a frostworm. The hulking bones were nearly swallowed by the snow, but there was no mistaking the grim claw that jutted upward, twisted in solemn agony. The necromancers assembled without a word, forming a ring around the dragon's corpse. They stood for a moment as the wind encircled them with gusts of snow. Then the ritual began. Spokes of unholy light emanated from the centre of the frozen bones, creaking through the snow and ice until at last the immense remains were fully exposed. With a gesture from Grand Necrolord Atiok, the bones shuddered and lurched above the ground, rotating slowly into place. The necromancer's incantations swelled as they began forcing sentience to the creature's remains. Violent contortions racked the body as the worm sent consciousness fought against its corrupt reanimation. Violent contortions racked the body as the worm's conscience fought against its corrupt reanimation. A thin streak pierced the air and the beast was subdued. An icy glow ignited within its gaping ribs and spread along its limbs, and lending an eerie cognizance to the sockets of its eyes. The Necrolord came forward and spoke. The Lich King has seen fit to raise you to serve the Scourge. You'll be our lofty instrument of death, raining torment upon villages of our enemies, feasting upon the living, and bearing our finest death knights. The Frostworm regarded them and dipped its head slightly in accordance. The conversation was complete. Rearing its back, it flared its wings like a fan of knives across the sky. Cool. Decree of the Scourge. Chapter 1 by Kel'Thuzad. The roots of the Scourge are sown in the folly of all races. Our rise of power is a product of the sins of those who mean our end. Recording, actually pause for 1 second. Hey folks, and I'm back. Sorry about that. Locally. Line across, line up, left, right, up. And the mic is in place. Good. Just worried something was wrong. A rise to power is the product of the sins of those who mean our end. The so-called heroes of the land fall before us by resorting to a measure of our ideals to bring forth their envisioned victory. Their victory is a vehicle to realization that without resorting to what they define as horrible to achieve it, we would have overcome them instead. In both outcomes, win or lose, the scourge inevitably wins. When this is recognized, submission to our will is inevitable. He probably explains it more here. But I'm gonna take a shot at it. Basically, he says that the heroes of Azeroth view killing, going around killing and slaying as deplorable. Because the Scourge is ideals. But they can't defeat the Scourge unless they do the same thing. And, in both outcomes, the Scourge win. I think, though I do believe it's more of an ideological win than anything else, but, yeah. The Master, or Lich King, was born under this very doctrine. To conquer is to corrupt. To corrupt is to take what it is to be righteous and hopeful, to be living, and invert it through any means in your arsenal. He's explaining it better in his way here. I was just taking a pot shot to see if I was right. The attributes of the living all have symptoms with fatal flaws that are their undoing. Hope is dogma. Righteousness is zealotry. Living is empathy. Recognize what makes that which lives to desire to live, and turn it upon itself. Knowing the most direct path of corruption is the pinnacle of wisdom. A simple weakening of the heart, dismember of vital organs, or direct disease will work for most. However, the conqueror of most is not the created master, but the conqueror of all. It is foolish to expend excessive resources in warping the mind of a simple peasant, where a common plague will suffice. It is equally unwise to try the same common plaguing as a seasoned and hardy. Regimented study of any formidability will reveal usable weaknesses. Decree of Scourge, Chapter 2. The largest misconception the living have of the Scourge is their penchant for what is considered evil. It's a Frenchy word. I know I'm saying penchant is wrong, but whatever. It's like penchant. I don't know, but whatever. Our tendency is our tendency for what is considered evil. For the sake of demoralization, we allow this error to perpetuate, and spread it on our own. The true nature of the Scourge is the transcendence of the shackles that keep any of the living race from becoming as prosperous as we. For example, what do emotions and honor really hold? What benefits do emotion and honor really hold? They serve to validate the living, to make them feel good. Now, what do flaws do they hold? Emotion is directly related to the ignorance of logic and reason. Honor is, at most times, the sole proprietor of able resources fighting a losing battle. It is baffling to me that the living can be so unaware of how eager we are to play the part of their villain, to nurture their greatest flaws by becoming the embodiment of all that incites irrational behavior. Moral ambiguity cannot be cleansed, apathy cannot be healed or assuaged, greed cannot be dispelled, and wrath cannot be cured. We choose to be the embodiment of all these things, and there are some foolish enough to believe that the Scourge can be defeated and removed completely. So long as the most attractive sins of living remain our banner flag, those be those eager to flock to our will. I myself was born under this doctrine. I can see it. People may want to, pride. I know he didn't mention pride there, but they want the power. They will flock to the Scourge side if they're seen as powerful. People want shit, and the Scourge has shit. They want to join the Scourge. That's what he's saying, but he's fucking right. People are idiots. This Decree of Scourge, Chapter 3. The Scourge is infinite in potential. We are not, however, infallible by any means. Always be well aware of your limits and the resources at your disposal. Always have an exit strategy. Sacrifice of eager minions to your ends is a cornerstone of Zerg philosophy. All manners of bravery, martyrdom, or compatriotism for anyone but the Master is imprudent and severely punished. Another fallacy outsiders hold of the Scourge is that our power resides in the residual will of the living, and that we are an advanced form of parasite, and without a host of regenerating life, would simply wither away. Again, we do not deny such ignorance taught for our benefit, but this we do not deny such ignorance taught for our benefit, but this could not be further from the truth. We are nothing but an ever improving form of adaptation to a land once riddled with endless struggle. We are immune to the tribulations of dissension, overpopulation, individuality, selfish opinion, short-sightedness, and even mortality. We hear the will of the Master. The Master brings us all that we will ever desire. It is true that we take architecture, technology, and physical prowess from assimilated races. This, like the so-called medieval acts of the Scourge, is done entirely out of pragmatism. The Scourge have neither the time nor the will to generate a culture of its own. A member of the Scourge that creates without an influence, owed an inherent attachment to it, a right to see it viewed and used. This leads to individuality, which leads to dissension. Creativity is a flaw of culture, but a minor obligation when dealing with simple needs like buildings and equipment. It's not your duty to question or care about the ordinary resources, just how usable they are. The Scourge is the will of the land. All manners of life kneel to our will with an ease that yields a single conclusion: that they need us, that they yearn for our salvation. There's no resistance to our practices, no immunity to our commandments. We're every bit the inevitability that natural life holds: death. Death comes with every life, and on death comes with every death. The sooner the living recognize this immutable fact, the easier the transition will be. I feel like I wasn't reading it right, because for whatever reason it's kind of going in one ear and just like jumping around and coming back out again. Compendium of Fallen Heroes. It's this book again. Here's Dragonblight. We'll see this when we go to Norrent. Dramatic book. Prince Palnai is looking into an exceptional death knight to travel into Dragonblight, Norrent's frozen central plain, leading an elite cadre of soldiers in a strike against the dragon fight. Your training is nearly complete, he said in a recent public address. The time has come to strike against those who would protect the living. We shall show them the true meaning of Dragonblight. Alexstrasza, the Red Queen, and arguably the Scourge's most powerful enemy, Norrent, has been building up her own army as of late, though it is assumed that her efforts are aimed at the rogue blue dragon fight. The Alexstrasza is the dragon aspect of life. While she has lost her powers as of post Cataclysm, as of Wrath, she was at full strength. So yeah, behold the finest of ironies. The living ascribe unto undead all the most sickly attributes of their own lives: hopelessness, servitude, savagery, stillness of spirit. We serve. The living serve too, though they serve kings, warlords, druids, priests, gods, men, and beasts. We serve only the mighty, unifying will of the Lich King, which compels us onto prosperity and unity. For all the endeavours of men, there exists only endless records of tragedy, cruelty, betrayal, and selfishness. For the Scourge, there's only efficiency and totality. Serve the Lich King in life, or serve him in death. His is a way of choice whose roads lead only to fulfillment. Cold in flesh, but warm in unity, the mighty Scourge are one nation, one mind, one being. True gold dwells in the heartless gaze of the guards who turn away their sickly refugees from their neighbouring country at the time of war. Are not all men of one kind? Nay, divided in their icy hearts. Raise high our ideals and bring low our foes. Fold their broken number unto all serve the frozen throne. This fucking Scourge propaganda. Skolvad nervously peered around the corner of the column. Is this going to... This is going to be a fucking Scourge. Oh, I love this. Skolvad nervously peered around the corner of the column. As he planned, he saw her floating there, alone in her chamber. Had he made the right decision, visiting the Banshee's private chamber so late at night? Necromancers would surely put him back into the ground if he was discovered. What's worse, he didn't even know if his feelings were requited. Madame Sinari was known for her short temper. What little doubts the zombie had were quickly tossed aside once he caught a full glimpse of her beauty. Her distantly elven features, a reminder of her form in a past life, were now only enhanced by the oozing wounds and scabs that dotted her face. Purple, almost translucent skin was frugally covered by necrotic wrappings that hugged her wafish frame, cold flesh neatly fused with the ephemeral as her legless torso sat upon a bluish sphere of energy drifting a few inches above the cold granite floor. Skovzad allowed himself to relax a bit, and wiped the sweat and ichor that dripped alternatingly from his prominent brow. Seemingly unaware of his presence, she glided to the only window in the room and looked upon the battlefield. Desolation stretched out before her. Not 6 hours ago had the shrill cries of human children pierced the air, but now only the sweet sounds of death. The wind caught her hair now, playfully flipping the worm-like tendrils around her hollowed-out eye sockets. Skorvazad, suddenly aware that he was leaning forward with lust, shrank back behind the column, terrified that the dark wailer might have seen him. She indeed had seen him, but he had no reason to fear. Skorvad, she said, I've been waiting for you. You feel well today. The Banshee glanced coyly around her rotting shoulder, allowing her wrappings to loosen ever so slightly. It's time you collected your reward. The next few pages seem to be stuck together. Oh, that is hilarious. I know I was saying that I'm not sure I'm a fan of, a jokey book, within this context of Scourge, but I'm willing to dismiss that one, because that is fucking hilarious. A Scourge porno mag. Or a porno story. Erotic, Scourge erotica. There's the word. Scourge erotica. That is hilarity itself. I love it. Like, seriously, whoever wrote that, well fucking done, you mad bastard. Like, whoever came up with it, whoever made it, seriously, well done. Made a good one. Just double checking I didn't miss anything. Yeah, I kind of end up feeling I misread some of the books and whatnot. Wait, what's this? Western Northrend. Didn't read this one. Reports from the aerial surveillance squadron in Icecrown Glacier show that the communication with the Lich Lord, Winterchill, has been cut off shortly. Winterchill was last seen patrolling the necropolis Tauramus over Borean Tundra on a confidential mission. Reports Scourge Engineer Caramon, the squadron's chief information officer. Diagnostics show that his communication crystals are fully operational, just dead silent. Winterchill. I think we may find out about him. I'm not sure. When we get to Northrend, it might be a horde one though, because I'm not fully sure. Here's Amal Tazad. He used to be a ice trainer. Well, the Dead Knights used to have 3 trainers, and I want to say each only taught according to their school, but I'm not sure. But yeah, you can, if you're here, you can get demonstrations of the different professions. Well, not professions, but some of the different abilities. I'm not sure if they still happen. Here's Lord Torval. Let's talk to him. Also, there's a Draenei Dead Knight. The blood is life, and as easily as the ebb and flow of blood is controlled, so too is the life of our enemies. And I can go to the proving grounds if I choose to, but I don't. We also have some gear already. It's all Arcturus Knight's gear and whatnot. Stroker of Damnation, Corrupted Band, and Plague Band. Cool. Apparently friendly with all these. But yes, sorry for the distraction there. It's just I found lore books I must read. Also, actually, I was meaning to check when I went up here. Is there actually, because I've never noticed this before, I want to check, is there any up here? Oh, we missed one of the demonstrations. Basically, you'll see a fight between the disciples, and we are what the cold wind carries, the icy chill of despair, the cold embrace of death. I'm going to just double check. I don't think there's any books up here, but I want to be sure. Like I was trying to say there, I've never actually noticed them before. I didn't even know they were here. And as such, I want to double check that I'm not missing anything, because it might be possible to find these later on. I'm only taking a quick glimpse, because if I spend too long there, I won't make much progress.